Simon, welcome to the National Sports Convention Forums, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Martin. Good to be here.
Now, as you know, the forums this year have had to pivot, and we're doing 3 in 3 cities. The impact of the COVID is impacting on everybody. You're in the business of insurance with Sports Cover as their CEO. How do you see the COVID has impacted on the finances of community sport?
Look, Martin, that's a very easy question to answer. Unfortunately, the impact of C-19 on sport throughout the country, both at all levels, national, state, and community level, has been substantial. We have seen through our own client base, but also beyond that to sports and fitness and leisure organisations and businesses, how dramatic the impact has been. Its memberships obviously have been substantially curtailed. The event sector, part of the industry, has been put on hold, except that obviously the very major football codes have been able to manage around that, but generally speaking, that hasn't cascaded down, and so many events have been cancelled for 2020. And let's not obviously ignore or forget the impact on individuals through loss of jobs and loss of involvement in the sector. So the mental health impact is going to be equally substantial, and it's going to take some considerable period of time for the industry to get back on its feet, I think. In a number of conversations I've had with sports CEOs, they are fully anticipating that the impact of this financially will be felt long into 2021, and if not further than that. And we are in the process of capturing data which is suggesting to us that there will be a minimum 20% shrinkage in the size of the sector through clubs not reopening, events not being rescheduled, memberships not being renewed. I've seen data from overseas that suggests that 67% of the mass participation sports events will not come back, will not survive. So this is being felt not just in Australia, but around the world.
That's really interesting. Peter Miskimmin, the CEO of Sport New Zealand, will also be joining us at the NSC Forums, and he recorded a similar message to you, and which we'll send out. And he was saying it's an amazing opportunity for us to embrace and change the way we think about sport, the way we manage sport, the way we structure it, and therefore the way we deliver it. You've been a CEO in past lives with a number of key sports around Australia. Do you think it really is a time for change to embrace?
I wouldn't couch it in terms of being a time for change. More to the point, I think it's going to be absolutely essential that we be far more flexible and innovative with our thinking. I think this is, rightly or wrongly, this has been forced upon the industry. Yeah. And there will be some sports that will be able to return to normal or near normal because they have the economic strength and the resource base to do that. But for the majority of sports, it's going to be really, really challenging. And so that really does impose a requirement to look at what innovations can be introduced, what changes can be made, just to ensure that there is a sustainable future for their sports. That's quite possibly or probably going to be more an issue at state and community level than necessarily at the national level. The federal government has been very supportive of national sports, excuse me, with funding, and of course, for those that are involved in the Olympic Games, maybe there's a benefit for them that we didn't previously think of or consider, in the fact that the games will be going ahead in 2021 rather than 2020. And the reason I say that is because for a number of sports like gymnastics and triathlon and swimming and track and field, etc., basketball, you can go through the 26 to 28 sports on the program. The Olympics is a powerful marketing tool and will bring people back to those activities and those sports. So from that point of view, the timing could be quite fortuitous for the Olympic sports. At community level, the need for innovation and change and collaboration with other like-minded clubs, sports, etc., I think that's going to become essential for survival in terms of amalgamating resources where you can, be they your volunteer base, be it the financial frameworks that you operate within. And it's going to challenge a lot of people because obviously, as we know in Australia, that involvement in sport is a very personal thing, and people can often take quite a deal of convincing to let go and to make those changes. So it's going to be a really interesting situation to watch as it unfolds.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that now we're seeing some sports like cycling moving to embrace the recreational participation and amalgamate some of the cycling sports. We may see that being utilised as an approach across many other activities and sports as well.
Well, look, I've had the view, Martin, for an awful long time that particularly in the Olympic movement, there are sports like swimming, cycling, track and field in particular, where the real economies, the real revenue opportunities lie in the recreational participation base. When you look at the traditional participation pyramid, those sports like basketball, netball, etc., golf, tennis, the base of the pyramid is massive.
Yes.
Now, even allowing for let's call it 20%, and I'm not suggesting that will eventuate, but that's what's being touted at the moment in terms of shrinkage of the size of the pyramid, still leaves a very substantial base to build from. And not every sport has been able to capture that participation base, be it formalised through the club structure or in cycling and athletics terms, informal participation that through recreational running, etc., recreational cycling. If those sports can capture those, then the economics start to be very attractive.
Well, let's hope that some of those NSO CEOs have the same view that you have now, and they can embrace that moving forward. We've run out of time, Simon. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your insight, and I look forward to hearing it in more depth at the Melbourne NSC Forum in a few weeks' time.
Always a pleasure, Martin. Look forward to it too. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.